morning. It's like a little after 6, sorry I'm late. Uh, I think I had the wrong thing on my alarm. There's a dismiss and there's a snooze, and I think I hit dismiss. So I got up a little later than I wanted to. But here we are. So I am setting up as we continue to take a look at the root chakra. I hope everyone's having a good morning so far, or afternoon, or night, or whenever you may be checking out this video. So what we have been discussing this week is the root chakra. It's whose proper name in the context that we are looking at it is Muladhara. And you know, this is our deepest part, our roots, our survival instinct, our sense of identity, our sense of belonging to a group. This is deeply rooted things in our lives, and where certain fears are kind of anchored. Fear of separation, abandonment, fear of loss, fear of being attacked or harmed or aggressed, things that cause, very deep issues within us. And when these, it's important for me to deal with this root chakra, because when these feelings are powerful, they can drive a lot of decisions. When we have a fear-based decision that is made, oftentimes it creates another problem unexpectedly, And so, in dealing with the chakras, it addresses certain things that are inhibitors to us creating the life that we love, or moving forward in the life that we have, or just making the best decisions for ourselves. So just a couple of things that we can do over the next few days, or maybe 2 weeks, as we continue to roll on through this root chakra, to kind of ground ourselves, to center ourselves, to start to feel that connectedness with nature. Go outside for a walk. One of my favorites is to walk barefoot out in the grass. Literally hug a tree. Just sit out in the sun for a few minutes. Just sit still and just let the sun wash over us. And these are things that kind of get us in touch with nature a little bit. I know sometimes it's things can be a little bit tunnel visioned, with work or career, with family and children, with obligations. It just, all of this beautiful nature that is around us sometimes fades into the hazy peripheral. Good morning, Wanda. How you doing today? Good to see you up, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. So yeah, that's it. The whole chakra journey, beginning here with the root chakra, our spiritual awareness and growth is furthered whenever we begin to see beyond the physical things that we can see, and into that other realm. I grew up on the Bible, and a lot of that spiritual stuff, I think, is just kind of it's all about, I'm not knocking, but it's all about one thing. But there are so many aspects to it that are just shoved to the side to focus on other things. But the entire, all of the great prophets were deeply spiritual men and women. They saw things beyond what the group could see. They were apart. But it wasn't just, yes, they were gifted with these things, but we all are. They were just ones who accepted, they were the ones who accepted that call to be different, to see differently, to live differently, and just to experience life in a different way than others, because that's just what we are. You know what? I think my camera's sideways. Oh, let's do that. So at any rate, jumping right into it, looking ahead without focusing, just sitting in a comfortable position where we can be for the next 15 minutes or so. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. With each inhalation, feeling revitalization, vigor, vitality. And breathing out through the mouth, impurities, toxins, negative energies, all of the stuff from yesterday's. And with the next out breath, we're going to close our eyes and return breathing to normal, in and out through the nose. And as we begin to settle into our meditation, we become aware of the space around us. With our eyes closed, we notice ourselves in 3 dimensions. And we begin to become aware of our physical senses. Feel the weight of the body as it presses down against our seat. Notice the contact between our body and the seat. The contact between our hands and arms and the lap. Really feel that contact. Feel the separateness between ourself and the seat. Feel its connectedness. Notice any sounds that may be cutting through the silence. Loud sounds, quiet sounds, near sounds, far away sounds. Are there any tastes in the mouth? Are there any distinct aromas permeating our space? Let's take a moment to check in with our physical body, just noticing how it feels today. And as we start the scan, beginning at the soles of our feet and going up to the crown of our head, just look at each individual part as its own entity. Does it feel comfortable? Uncomfortable? Does it feel the same as it did yesterday? But just scanning up, not stopping or lingering, only noticing. We're only noticing. And now we redirect our focus to the breath, actively noticing that rising and falling of the breath in the body, but without controlling or directing it in any way, just sitting and observing the body do what it does naturally, day in and day out, without any active thought or effort from us at all. And where do we feel that rise and fall? Is it high in the chest, in the lungs? Is it in the diaphragm? Is it low in the stomach, in the belly? And as we transition into this space, we begin our day with a moment of gratitude, searching our minds for that which we are thankful today. This morning I am particularly grateful for forgiveness, for the opportunity to have made what I consider to be a mistake, or to hurt someone's feelings, and for them to ultimately forgive me for that and not allow it to destroy the relationships that are so important and that have been so important to my existence. And for the opportunity to see that I also have a responsibility to forgive others who I may have perceived to wrong me. And so this morning I'm thankful for a thing that has allowed many of my relationships to continue despite some choppy waters. And I simply say aloud, thank you. In an equally deliberate way, setting the tone of my day ahead of the thoughts and feelings that my mind and body might be able to conjure up throughout the course of it. I intend and affirm I deliberately lay a solid foundation upon which to build my life. I love and respect the body, mind, and spirit with which I have been blessed, and I feed each accordingly. I am deeply and intrinsically connected to all of mankind and nature. The divine is within me, and I am one with it. I love and am loved. I forgive and I am forgiven. And when our affirmations and intentions set for the day, we resume that focus on the breath, on the rising and falling, simply observing and settling into that. If counting helps keep the focus, then count the out breaths to a count of 5 before starting back at 1. It is perfectly natural in the early stages for the mind to get carried away with thoughts, but the moment we notice it has, we just redirect the focus to the rising and falling of the breath. If we become distracted, it's all right. Just recenter the focus onto the breath. And for just a moment, relinquishing all focus and allowing the mind to just do think about whatever it wants to do or think about for just a moment. And resuming focus on the breath as we begin to once again become aware in 3 dimensions of the space around us, of the place where our body is physically sat at the moment. And we resume contact, connection with our physical senses, feeling the weight of the body and its contact with our seat, the feeling of our hands and arms on the lap, becoming tuned into the sounds that surround us. Noticing once again any distinct tastes in the mouth or smells. And when we're ready, slowly, gently opening the eyes, but opening them with that unfocused, straight ahead look and without shifting positions, just retaining our position for a moment. And there you have it. So as we, hey Jason, hey! I hope I didn't distract you from the end of your meditation. So in addition to those things that we mentioned earlier today, walking around outside, maybe barefoot in the grass, sitting in the sun for a few moments for some quiet reflection, going for a walk, hugging a tree, maybe wading in a natural body of water if you have that option. It's a beautiful one. But in addition to those, some things that we can do to keep ourselves mindful of the work that we're doing right now, to think about that root chakra, wear red, which I'll be wearing throughout this. Wear something that's red. Eat earthy food like root vegetables, potatoes, carrots. Eat red foods. But these are just mindful things to keep us mindful of the connection. They are stand-ins to keep that connection in our mind. So that's it. Have a great day. Spread light and love everywhere you go. Thank you for joining me, and I love you.